Well, let's go to our top story now, and the Malaysian Airlines flight MH370, which had 239 people on board. The biggest question still on everyone's lips is how can an aircraft which is more than 60 metres long and weighs almost 150 tonnes simply disappear? One way people are responding is by getting involved in a thing called crowdsourcing. This is where huge groups of people come together online to work on something very time-consuming. This site is offering satellite images and asking people to look through them in detail. Well, Daniela Retorto is in the World's newsroom to explain how it all works.
Yalda, I think the thing about this story is that we all feel rather helpless that this plane, as you said, vanished and we can't help to find out. So perhaps that's why people are getting involved in crowdsourcing. But there are some questions about whether it is a help or a hindrance. Now, I'm no expert, but the best thing about the BBC's World Newsroom here is that we have plenty of people who are. One of them is my colleague Sam Barry, our social media producer. Sam, explain to us, firstly, in layman's terms, what is crowdsourcing?
Crowdsourcing is basically when you have thousands or dozens or millions of people getting involved and either geotagging, in particular with maps. Crowdsourcing happens a lot with maps. And it can go right and it can go wrong. So we have a company out of the US called Digital Globe. They've set up a site called Tomnod. Trained 5 satellites on the region over the Gulf of Thailand, and basically the idea was to set up a virtual search party of millions of people, have them geo-target special and geotag sections of that map, that real-time map. Now they've been overloaded. We can't even show that because they've been overloaded. The servers are down. They've had emergency.
Crashed, hasn't it?
It's crashed. There's been I think up to 10 million views on the map. 500,000 people signed up to geotag. We've had occasions where crowdsourcing works really well, so in particular in times of disaster, so Philippines, in Haiti, crowdsourced mapping can be really helpful for the first responders. But I'm not sure it's going to work in this instance. We've got a Google map up here because Google made a statement yesterday and they came out and they asked people to stop being armchair detectives because you had a lot of people in this region go into Google Maps and find what looked like a flight or a plane or a wreckage and report it to local Malaysian media. Now Google came out and they said, these maps aren't in real time. These could have been from weeks or months ago. Please stop doing this with Google Maps because it's not going to help this search party.
Sam, perhaps it might not help in this instance, but you've said that it has helped in the past. What are some of those examples?
So one example that we do have is, this is in Ukraine, in Independence Square in Kiev. And what the protesters there did is they crowdsourced a map for all of the protesters that they would access on their phones to show them where medical facilities were, to show them where their toilet facilities, where they could get food and warm food because it was very cold during the time, and also where there was spikes of violence or sniper activity in there.
And very briefly, Sam, where has it gone wrong?
Boston bombings is the biggest example of where it's gone wrong, where innocent people were named as potential suspects when photos emerged of the bombing suspects.
Okay, Sam, thanks very much for explaining that to us. Yalda, I guess whether it's from crowdsourcing on the internet or from the ships or spotter planes for the families, we all just hope that some wreckage, some debris, some sign of something comes up soon.
Absolutely, Daniela. A desperate attempt for any kind of lead. Thanks so much for joining us.